Hi everybody, I am here. Welcome to Spotlight with Lisa. I think I'm just 2 minutes early. I'm gonna reach over and grab my iPad so I can put that on so I can make sure I see your comments. It was a gorgeous day here in Florida. I have a sweater on. Some of you are gonna start laughing at me thinking, oh my gosh, why do you have a sweater on? I know, but you know what? When we get into the 70s here, I'm like a baby. I get cold, all right? If you would do me a favor, make sure that you give me some likes or loves so I can make sure that you hear me okay. Because you know, we're always at the mercy of technology. That's how it is with Facebook. Hi, Linda. Hi. Yes, it has been an extremely busy week for me. Extremely busy. Okay, I've got the iPad going there, but it's good to be with you guys. I've missed you. Hi, Gina. For those of you that don't know, we had my daughter in the hospital for the last 5 days. She was really sick. Hi, Sally. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Sherry. Wow, I'm trying to call all of you out as much as I can. Hi, Heather. She had to have gallbladder surgery on Sunday, which is really unusual for someone her age. She's only 24. Hi, Melody. Hi, Kay. Oh, it's Kay. Hi, Kay. Hi, Helen. I'm glad you guys are here to join me. It's so glad that you're here. A couple reminders. I try to shout out to all of you as many as I can. Hi, Tammy, Alexis. Hola, it's good to see you, Alexis. If I miss your name, please don't take offense, because if I sit here and chat too much and say hi, then we're not going to get anything done, right? That's for sure. All right, Facebook Live, if you've never been to one before, what you need to know is that we're at the mercy of technology, which means if I lose you, don't panic, I'll come back. And if you lose me, for some reason the feed is not playing right or the sound is not playing right, what you need to do is you need to actually close the application. If you're on your computer, close Facebook and come back in. And if you are on a mobile device, an iPad or a phone, actually close the entire app and come back in. Obviously, because I can see your comments, which is really helpful. Hi, Linda. Hi, Ruth. That means you can hear me and you can see me. So technically, it's kind of on your end, no offense. So just come out and come back in. Often that resolves the problem. All right, I have so much to show you tonight, and I'm using probably one of my favorite stamp sets from the holiday catalog. Hi, Patty. Hi, Donna. Hi, Becky. All right, and also feel free to ask questions. I will do my best to glance down at my iPad while we're stamping together. Hi, Tina, to try to catch your questions to make sure that I can address them while we're live. However, if I don't, because I'm busy stamping and I kind of get in that zone, please know that I read every single comment that you leave me, and I come back and either like it or reply if you have a question. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Martha. It's good to see you. Martha says she's from Penfield, New York. And you know what? I guess I shouldn't be complaining that I'm in Florida wearing a sweater, right? I know it's crazy. I'm cold. I don't know. It's cold in Florida to me. All right. Hi, Linda. Okay. The other thing is I've got other samples to show you when I'm done with my demonstration tonight. So don't go away. All right. So without further ado, how about we get started? Hi, Karen. I'm going to flip the phone down to my stamp table, and it's a really ugly view on the way down. Oh, Gina, thank you. That's very sweet. But you know what? I wouldn't have gotten that achievement without all of you. So I'm very grateful for all of my customers and for my fellow demonstrators who are mentors, and of course my family and all my friends. You know what? Here's my saying. It takes a village, people. I don't do this on my own. So thank you very much. So I'm going to flip you down, ugly view. So bear with me. Okay, so here we go. I move this button on where I press every single time I do this, so bear with me. Okay, here we go. I know you guys are all asking about Gina. She's like become a rock star this week, hasn't she? I think you guys can hear me. I'm going to zoom you in a little bit. She is actually doing extremely well. She's doing very well. I have to turn the ceiling fan on because I actually closed the door because she's watching TV. Those of you who don't know, she had gallbladder surgery this week, which is extremely unusual for someone her age, but she's doing well. We've actually kind of turned a corner today, and she's getting along a little bit better. So we are crossing our fingers that tonight all three of us can sleep in a bed and get a full night's sleep, because it's been a rough week, that's for sure. All right, holiday catalog well underway. If you haven't started, hi Donna, if you haven't started your Christmas cards yet, you really need to. Can you believe next week is Thanksgiving? I'm going to be using a stamp set from this catalog, and of course we have the annual catalog. If you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you would like these, I would love to send them to you complimentary. All you have to do is leave me a comment, and then we can work out getting your address privately. We are going to use the Snowflake Sentiments stamp set. I have to say that slow because that's like a mouthful. And I know you've got a glare with the plastic covering on this case, so please bear with me. And it's from the lights, but I want to make sure you can see really well when I get started to stamp. I've already pulled out everything that I need. I'm a little kitty wonkus tonight. Like, my stuff is over there and I need a stamp over here. It's just the placement of the camera. I'm going to use Night of Navy tonight. This is a great Christmas color, good traditional. I'm going to start by folding this in half. This is 5.5 by 8.5. I am a huge fan. Look at this. I'm looking at this going, Lisa, did you cut this crooked? Yeah, I think I did. Have you guys ever cut your paper crooked? I'm like, look, I'm a little hair off here. And you know what? I probably should never have pointed that out to you because you may not have noticed. But you know what? I'm a full disclosure kind of girl. Bone folder. I really like that for that nice crisp edge. You know what I'm going to do? Do you guys see it? Look, this is making me like a crazy person. It's a hair off. All right, and I'll tell you what. Confession time. I'm flipping it over. Hi, Karen. Hi, Patricia. The reason is sometimes I cut a whole bunch at one time and I got lazy. All right, I do. I cut a lot of paper and sometimes get lazy. So keep in mind that if you get paper from me, it's never like this. Those of you that are on here, Gina and Patty and some others, you know when you get paper from me, I'm like very A-type personality. My family teases me. So I'm just going to flip that over for the course of tonight. Again, bone folder. All right, let's get started. We're going to set this aside, and I'm actually going to do my stamping tonight on here. This is a smaller panel. I'm looking to see what size I cut this. This is 3 by 4.25, and we're going to do some heat embossing as well tonight. Hi, Connie. Hi, Lisa. I'm glad you guys are here. We're going to do some heat embossing. I'm actually going to use my Versamark ink. I'm going to do something a little bit different tonight. Now, I just re-inked this, so I'm hoping this guy is going to cooperate with me. I did practice earlier to make sure it wasn't too juicy. But whenever I heat emboss, I like to start by prepping my paper. And I'm going to do that using the Embossing Buddy. This anti-static powder will tell the embossing powder not to stick where there isn't ink. All right? So I'm going to start by rubbing that over my cardstock. And I love this. You know what? If you ever get little flecks from embossing and it's left behind, and that's because you didn't prep the surface. So you're going to want to prep the surface first. Hi, Bambi. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Sherry. The magic of this technique tonight is just really what wows me. All right, so Versamark ink. I'm going to set that off of here. My scrub is just off camera. It's right ahead of me. Whenever I use Versamark and I'm stamping, I'm really cognizant to make sure that I cling my stamps right away. It's a sticky ink. So I've got 2 different snowflakes from that stamp set, and I'm actually going to use both. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to work simultaneously, switching between them. So I'm going to start here, and I've got 1 snowflake here, and I know it's going to be tough to see, guys, because you know what? It's just going to leave a little bit of tone on tone. And like I said, that's really kind of a sticky ink, and I'm working back and forth to fill this in. And you're probably thinking, why is she going so fast? Well, I don't want it to dry, and I've got the ceiling fan on, because if it dries, you know what's going to happen? The powder is not going to stick. So I'm just going to kind of fill that in. I'm putting those stamps right in my Stampin' Scrub right away because I want to make sure I keep those moist so I can get that ink off really easily. All right, I use a coffee filter to catch all my excess embossing powder, and this is clear. This is clear powder. Sprinkling it. Oh, can you see the ceiling fans blowing this all over? That's going to be fun to clean up, right? Oh boy, I guess I didn't think about this too good. All right, and I'm going to tap off my excess. And you can see where my finger was. I got a little bit there, so I'm just going to tap that off. Don't be afraid to give your paper a little bit of a flick. Powder is really, really fine, and you want to make sure that you don't have any stray powder on there, even if you've used the Embossing Buddy. All right, so now I've got that covered up with my clear powder. Look at this. I think I have the fan on too high. Oh my gosh, hold on. I can see things are starting to blow. All right, let me set this aside. And let me show you what I'm going to do here. Coffee filter is like my best friend when it comes to embossing powder because it allows me to pour it right back inside. And I don't know about you guys, but we don't even have a coffee maker that uses these anymore. But I got these at the dollar store and I was able to get like a huge package for like $1. And I absolutely love them for this because if I'm doing embossing in different colors, I can actually just throw these away and I don't have to worry about a mess. And it helps to contain it if you don't have the ceiling fan on. Note to self. All right, so here we go. We've got our stamped image, which is covered with embossing powder, and I have the heat tool. The Stampin' Up! Heat tool has 2 speeds. There's a 1 and a 2, and I'm actually going to use both tonight, and I'm going to give you some tips on that. So 2 is the high speed. You're going to see that the tip is encased, and that's because it's super hot in there. We don't want to put your fingers in there. So we're going to turn this on. The great thing about the embossing gun, the heat tool, I'm old-fashioned, I still call it the embossing gun, is that once it gets hot, it's going to retain its heat. So if you want to do multiples of these for Christmas cards, it's actually going to go very, very quick. I try not to hold it so I don't burn my fingers, and look what's happening. Do you guys see that? So that powder is turning in a clear surface. And I'm just going to work my way all the way around here to heat set. Now, let me give you a couple tips. I'm going to hold this up. I'm going to hold it safely. Don't worry. You want to work fairly closely. I like to keep the gun moving, all right, so that I have concentration in one area. The worst thing you can do is kind of go like this, because if you're doing tone on tone, like white powder on white paper, you may miss a spot. And guess what happens if you miss a spot and you don't heat set it? It's actually literally going to rub right off. And you won't have any impression there, and of course no embossing there. All right, so there we go. I'm not even going to finish it because you know what? I figured, you know what? That's loud and boring. So I already have one that's done. Okay, so here we go. And you got like the magic of live TV, right? Okay, hi Danny. Sherry says she finds the Q-tips help to remove the small spots of unwanted embossing powder. That's a great idea. I actually have a real fine tip bristled paintbrush that I use. Now, do you guys ever have this? It's gritty, right? All right, Swiffer to the rescue. I have actually cut this in half because you know when you get them, they're a lot larger. I cut them in half, and I'm just going to go over my work surface with this, and it's going to pick this up. These little microfiber anti-static things are the best things since bread. Boy, don't you wish we invented those things, right? All right, so next step now is we are going to add some color to this. I've got a little powder on the back too. That just makes the adhesive not stick really well. So let me switch over now to my Whisper White ink pad. Now if you're thinking, ew, bear with me. All right, so we're going to do this. Donna says that she uses tweezers to hold her paper. That's an excellent idea, excellent. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a wedge of sponge. Now you can see that I used this earlier when I was practicing before you guys joined me. I like to cut that sponge, which is a circle, into wedges because it allows me a spot here to hold my fingers without getting them massively dirty. Here's another tip for you. You can put a little binder clip right here. Let me show you. I've got one right here in my drawer. So I've got a binder clip here, and you can clip this on the end, all right? And then you can hold on to this. If I've got some Stampin' Up! Demonstrators here with me tonight that are watching, this is an awesome tip if you're teaching an event because you can actually put a little scrap piece of cardstock on here and let them know which color sponge goes with which color ink. I know, isn't that great? Also a great tip if you're stamping with friends. All right, so Whisper White ink is a pigment ink. It is very slow to dry. Its purpose was originally for fabric and of course for heat embossing. So you're going to want to make sure that you don't go crazy with it because it's kind of thick. So I'm going to kind of dab it on here a little bit onto my sponge. And I'm not going to go too crazy. I'm just going to kind of like dab it on my paper. And then once I know I've got like good control, I'm going to start to swirl. What I don't want is I don't want one big blob of white ink because boy, have I done that. All right, I'm here to tell you there's nothing you can do that I haven't done. Trust me on that. I've been stamping for a long, long time. We were just actually doing the math the other day, and I've been a demonstrator for 19 years, and I stamped not long before that. So we're going to say at least 20 years I've been stamping. So you can see I'm kind of going over this. Now, depending on how much color you want is completely up to you. So there's really no right or wrong way. It's just a matter of preference. And for me, I think that's kind of good. I'm just going to kind of leave that off to the side. One thing about the pigment ink, I like to use these in soap and water and let them air dry, but I do find that sometimes the pigment ink doesn't come off really well. So dedicate a sponge wedge just to white or black and keep those in your drawer, and keep a little wedge of cardstock with them or in a separate little container so that you can just reuse the same one over and over again. I'm going to go ahead and close this because an open ink pad around here is just nothing more than a disaster waiting to happen. All right, so here we go. I'm going to move you in a little closer because I think you'll be able to see a little bit better. Okay, we'll try that. I've got a white paper towel here. I'm telling you, a white paper towel is absolutely a must for this next step. Ask me how I know that, okay? If you got those fancy paper towels with the really pretty bounty designs on them, you know, the colored ones, they even sell those. But if you do, it's going to pick up that color from the pigmentation. Don't do that. So make sure it's white. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to buff this. Do you see what's happening as I'm buffing it? The embossing that we did underneath for the clear, look, it's coming through. Can you see it? All right, I'm going to work my way around the paper, working small sections at a time. And you can see that it actually picks up some of the pigment of the cardstock, which is fine. Don't let that bother you. So small circular motions. This is a great project if you're going to do them in an assembly line fashion for the holidays, because you literally can do all the prep, all the embossing, all the sponging, and then all the buffing. Now, I tried a Kleenex with this earlier, and you know what? It just kind of fell apart and made a mess. And I think it's just because of the cardstock itself. But boy, I wish you were here so you could really appreciate this. This is really so pretty. All right, so there we go. I'm going to brush off that. I'm going to kind of hold it up so you guys can see it. Can you kind of see it? It's like a smoky kind of white finish, but those clear snowflakes, aren't those pretty? So pretty. All right, so now let's mount it. I've cut another piece of Whisper White cardstock. This one's just a hair bigger, and we're going to mount that on there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my snail adhesive and I'm going to work in those corners. I know some of you are big adhesive fans and you cover the whole thing. That's just not me. I can't even tell you how much adhesive I go through. So I try really hard to make sure that I'm going to be a little bit of economical aspect on all my Christmas cards this year. I don't want them to fall apart, but I want to make sure that my adhesive's going to last. I have my tongue tied. I'm telling you folks, after this last week, I am tired. Spending numerous nights in the hospital in a recliner that's not comfortable. But boy, I'll tell you what. But the kid is doing better, so we're glad. Now we've got a nice white border all the way around. I'm going to flip and rub from the back. That is especially important when you've got pigment ink, because you know what? This is not completely dry. Remember we talked about the speeds on the heat tool? We're going to go to a 1. Really quick. It's a lower speed. I'm just going to go really quick over this and heat set this just to kind of speed up that drying process. Even though I buffed it, I can see on my hands I've got a little bit of that white on there. I just want to make sure it doesn't smear. All right, this now is going to go here on the base of that card we made. I'm going to put some adhesive in those 4 corners again, working all the way around. How many of you got your Christmas cards done? If you got your Christmas cards done, or how about started, you go ahead and show me a like so that I know, hey, Lisa, I just love listening to you. Oh, Sophia, you are so sweet. Only if my daughter felt the same way when I'm yelling at her to clean her room, right? Thank you. You're so sweet. Hi, Lydia. It's so good to see you on here. Gina is doing better. Thank you. This is going in the middle. All right, again, we're not going to do this. We're going to, okay, look at you guys with your Christmas cards. I am so proud of you. Yay, good for you. Good for you. All right, it needs more because you know at my house it's never done like this. All right, so I've got a piece of Whisper White cardstock here. This is just a strip, 1 1/4, I think 3 1/2. Let me cheat. Let me see, what is it? Oh, I'm right, it is 3 1/2. Night of Navy ink. I try really hard to keep my projects color coordinated if I can. It makes life easier. And look at guys, you don't need very many inks, right? Let me get my snowflakes off my wet side here. I'm pulling out the little trio of snowflakes that are inside this stamp set. And I'm going to actually use them as a border here on the side. So what I'm going to do is I want them a little bit lighter because I don't want to take away from my words. I'm going to ink them up and I'm going to stamp off on my grid paper. And then I'm going to turn this because I can't do anything that way. I have to go straight up and down. Is anybody else like that? So here we go. We're going to go straight up and down. I'm going to stamp my border. So we got a little bit of a snowflake border going on. I stamp off my excess ink before I go to my Stampin' Scrub. And the reason is that'll keep your Stampin' Scrub cleaner a lot longer if you get rid of that ink. If you take it from here, it's got a lot of ink consistency and that'll dirty that thing up in a hurry. Same stamp set. Everything I'm using tonight is from this exact same stamp set, Snowflake Sentiments. And this says, wrapped in the warmth of Christmas. I'm going to ink this up. So, okay, when I was designing this card about a week or so ago, my husband says to me, why are you doing a snowflake card? We live in Florida. I'm like, honey, not everybody lives in Florida. There is snow in other states. And he was like, oh yeah, I guess you're right. And I'm like, you know what? Snowflakes are just reminiscent of the holidays no matter where you live, right? So tapping that off, cleaning my scrub. I'm going to close this up. Remember what I told you. That's dangerous at my house if it's open. Jan, you are very welcome. I'm glad that the tips help. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if you're ever doing these and you can like see the ink is still wet, we got this baby out. Let's go to speed 1. We're just going to use that to our advantage. It's sitting right here, right? Make my life a lot easier because I don't know about you, but nothing is more frustrating than actually making your card and it's like, oh, it turned out so good, and then you smear it, right? I'm going to make a banner tip, and for those of you that have not watched my videos before or been with me on Facebook Live, I'm going to give you a great tip about making your banners. Make a slit in the center of the paper first. A lot of times people want to start at the ends and then end in the center. That's probably the biggest mistake you can make. Make the slit first. By making it first, it gives you a center point for you to work from the outside in. So now I'm going to come from the outside here up to the top of my slit, and I'm going to do that now on both sides. I can see there's a little bit of a shadow from my light. Let me see if I can make that better for you guys. No matter how many lights I've got in here, no matter what happens. All right, there we go. This is going to go on here, but bear with me. We're not done. We're going to flip that over. Dimensionals. Love these things. I call these my cheap thrill. Double-sided little pre-cut foam pieces allow you to create some 3D texture for your projects. And I'm going to be really generous with this because it's going to go across the whole face of this card. And I'm going to take off the paper backing. If you're having trouble getting that paper backing off, take your fingernail, press it in the center of the paper, and that lifts those outside edges for you, making it a lot easier to remove them. Today, I'm just getting really lucky. These are coming off easy, aren't they? All right, I'm going to go all the way to the edge because you know what? We don't expect that. And I like the unexpected when I'm creating my cards. I'm going to gravitate more towards the bottom, lining up that edge here, and then I'm going to press. All right, so now it's got that. But you know what? At my house, guess what? It's not done unless it has what, right? In the stamp studio, it must absolutely have some bling. Absolutely love bling. And you know what? I find that these little tiny pearls are the ones that I seem to use the least. So that's what I'm going to use the most tonight. So I'm going to actually take those off with my paper piercing tool. They already have glue dots on the back. And those are going to fit perfectly right inside those little tiny areas in my snowflakes. The other nice thing about these is these are going to mail really well because they're small. And here's another one. Do you ever get them flip upside down, these little tiny ones? That's why I like this tool that helps me lift them. And those of you who are thinking, that's a lot of pearls. Oh, heck yeah. I don't think you can ever have too much bling. I really don't. So there we go. We've got one more down here to fill that last snowflake. This one's kind of hidden. So there we go. Oh, I wish you were here. I really do, because this is just far more prettier in person. It really is. Absolutely love the way it turned out. Isn't that sharp? All right, but I promised you I have some other really cool things to share with you. All right, so let me grab those, clean off my little spot here. Simple card that you can make a bunch of. All right, let me find my little tote. All right, let me grab my stamp set. Okay, thanks for waiting. All right, let me bring you out just a little. I'm glad you guys like it. Yay. All right, you know, pretty cards don't have to be hard. Every month I do what's called studio stamps in the mail. It is not a club. You do not have to make a commitment. You can buy what months you like and not buy the months you don't like. But this month it happens to be actually this stamp set, Snowflake Sentiments. So all of my customers who have chosen to participate in studio stamps in the mail are going to get this stamp set. All right. They're also going to get a full package of the foil snowflakes. So there's 12 silver and 12 gold. These are absolutely beautiful. Oh, by the way, did you know you can use your new Stampin' Blends, those alcohol markers, to color these? And the gold and the silver look slightly different, really pretty. And they're also going to get this. This is the Winter Wonder embossing folder. I'm going to flip this over so you guys can kind of see that giant snowflake. Isn't that sharp? All right, so they're going to get all of this, but you know what they're going to get? They're going to get pre-cut supplies to make 8 cards, and I want to show you that because it uses the same stamp set that I just used. All right, so they're going to get all the foil papers. They're going to get the vellum. They're going to get the washi tape. So they're going to make 2 of everything. So they're going to make 2 of this card. They're also going to make 2 of this card, and yes, they get all that foil. Look at all that shimmer. I know, it's probably making you crazy on the screen, but there's just no way to ever photograph this stuff nice. They're going to get the rhinestones, the sequins. They're also going to get all the foil layers and the ribbons. So it's 2 of everything that you see here, and here is my favorite. Check this out. Let me move these off to the side because I think this one's kind of like the star. This is a fancy fold. So the belly band slides off, and then you ready? And the card opens up. Look at that. Is that not fun? Let me show you from this way. Isn't that fun? Fun, fun stuff. So guess what? Everything is pre-cut. It is pre-scored, ready to go. And you know what? I got better news for you yet. You don't ever have to figure out how to put all this stuff together because I'm going to send you a video tutorial. You'll stamp right along with me from home with the pre-cut supplies that I send you. I also send you a PDF tutorial, so for those of you that like to read and like pictures, I've got you covered as well. So you're going to get the stamp set, the foil snowflakes, and the embossing folder, and these supplies. Now I'm sure you've got some questions. Let me just flip you around so I can see you guys. It's much more fun when I can actually see you. All right, so Studio Stamps in the Mail makes creating your cards really, really easy. And I work really hard to come up with designs that you have not seen somewhere else. I like accessories, so they're included. My customers will tell you it's not unusual for me to even send them the glitter in a little Ziploc bag. I absolutely do. This month's Studio Stamps in the Mail is $48. That already includes the priority shipping. So you don't have to worry about paying extra. It's all going to be mailed by November 25th, and this is why this is so perfect for you. The ordering period ends on Sunday, which is this Sunday is the 19th. I'm going to send all the products from Stampin' Up! Are going to come to me 2-day air. I'm going to cut in a frenzy, put it all together nice and pretty for you, and it'll be mailed on Black Friday, which is the 25th. Priority mail will come to you in 2 or 3 days, which is perfect timing right after Thanksgiving for you to sit down with everything pre-cut and ready to go for you to make your Christmas cards. All you're going to need is a smoky slate ink pad and a basic gray ink pad. If you don't have those, I can actually include them for you at no additional postage fees. We can just put them in the same envelope. And if you already have some of these other things, let's say you have the embossing folder, or you have the snowflakes, or you have the stamp set, or some or all, we can make a substitution for you. That's not a problem. You're going to find all the details for Studio Stamps in the Mail over on my blog. If you go over to lisasstampstudio.com, you can be able to click on the online classes tab and all the information is there for you. When we're done here, which is just a few minutes, I'm going to go ahead and put up the pictures, the picture of tonight's card so that you guys can have that, so you can see that nice and close. I'll put the cutting dimensions there for you too so you can duplicate it. And if you have questions that I didn't get to, by all means, I'll be sure to address those as well. But I think that's it. Oh, you know what? One more important thing I almost forgot. Here's another thing. If you purchase Studio Stamps in the Mail, or if you place a $25 product order of any kind, I automatically include you in what I call Live with Lisa, which is very much like this, but it's in a closed group and it's a lot bigger. So I do several live demonstrations with you. I have a bundle of tutorials with you with a ton more samples, and I do free product prizes. Yeah, that's just included for everyone who buys studio stamps in the mail, or for those who actually place a $25 product order. It's just my way of saying thank you. So, oh, Haley Hope says thank you for all of your tips. You are very welcome. I am so glad that I'm able to be here to share those things with you. I'm in business because of your business, and I am so grateful for every single one of you. And thanks for joining me tonight, everyone. I'll be over in just a minute to put those pictures up for you right here on the page. Everyone have a wonderful Thanksgiving with family and friends. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.